Our topic for today is accounting for business combination. Most students find this topic very challenging and difficult. Pero I'm here and I'll try my best to simplify this for you. Okay, there's two types of business combination. First is merger or acquisition. Second is consolidation. For merger or acquisition, it's A plus B is equal to A or B. Meaning, pag nag-merge si A and B, isa na lang yung matitira sa kanila, A or B. And one of them will stop its operations. Okay? A perfect example for this is, remember yung nangyari dito sa atin when Grab acquired Uber Philippines. Diba hindi na nag-ooperate dito si Uber? Okay, this is an example of merger or acquisition. One thing to remember is that in a merger or acquisition, there's only one set of financial statements. Alright? On the other hand, for consolidation, it's A plus B is equal to C. Ibig sabihin, magkakaroon ng new company which is company C. And in a consolidation, you have three sets of financial statements. Si A, pwede natin tawaging parent, and si B naman, subsidiary. Okay? Ano yung three sets of FS na yan? Well, yung kay FS ni A and FS ni B. We call this the separate financial statements. And at the end of the year, they have to prepare another set of FS for company C. We call it the consolidated financial statements. Okay? Basically, yung consolidated, i-add mo lang yung separate FS of A and B. Okay? Yung concept niyan is similar to the combined financial statements in accounting for home office and branch. Alright? Now, in consolidation, we have three major stages. First is at the date of acquisition. Second is subsequent to date of acquisition. And then number three is intercompany transactions. Alright? I have 4 videos for business combination, one for merger acquisition, one for this one, and intercompany transactions. For today, mag-focus muna tayo on merger or acquisition. Alright? Let's go to our problem for today. Alright? Okay, actually, merger acquisition, mas madali siya compared to consolidation. Okay? Now, let's read the given. Andun muna tayo sa questions pala. As a result of the merger, compute for the following. Letter A, goodwill. Letter B, gain on bargain purchase. Letter C, net increase or decrease in the retained earnings of Pinnacle Corporation. Letter D, net increase or decrease in the stockholders' equity of Pinnacle Corporation. And letter E, net increase or decrease in the identifiable assets of Pinnacle Corporation. Okay. The following are the condensed statements of financial position of Brad and Fit on January 1, 2020. Okay, so binigyan tayo ng balance sheet of Brad and Fit. So total assets, liabilities, ordinary shares, share premium, retained earnings. Siyempre, una mong isipin dyan, ay, binigyan tayo ng equity pero walang total. Let's compute the total equity of Brad and Fit. Okay. So 3.1, get your calculators. Ay, di mo na kay Brad. 3.1 million plus 1,250,000 plus 3,125,000. You get 7,475,000. Ano kung lalagay? 7,475,000. Total equity of Brad. For Fit naman, 1,295,000. Okay, I'll add 100,000 plus 862,500. You get 2,257,500. Okay, 2,257,500. Okay, that's the total equity of Fit. Pinnacle Corp acquired the net assets of both Brad and Fit. Okay, as you can see, sabi dyan net assets. Kasi in a merger acquisition, actually you're buying the assets and liabilities. You're not really buying the shares. Okay? So, pag nakita mo pa lang yung net assets, isipin mo na agad, ay, merger yan. Diba? So, both Brad and Fit. Yung dalawa yung binili ni Pinnacle, we have to analyze them separately. Okay? Paying cash in the amount of 185,000 and issuing 108,500 shares to Brad. paying cash in the amount of 72 and by issuing 54350 shares to FIT. Okay, so basically, ang pinambayad ni Pinnacle to these two companies are cash and shares. Alright? Actually, in IFRS 3 or in business combination, ang tawag sa dalawa na yan, they're the acquirees. Okay, acquirees. While Pinnacle, we call it the acquirer. Alright? So, let's continue. The par value of these shares is 30 per share and the market value is 40 per share. Siyempre, yung difference of 10, we call it the share premium. Tama? Share premium siya. Pinnacle Corp also incurred the following unpaid expenses. Okay. Indirect costs, right? Finder's fee, accounting and legal fees for SEC registration, printing costs of stock certificates. Alright. Pinnacle's retained earnings has a balance of 10,750,000 on January 1, 2020, beginning of the year, immediately before the acquisition. As a result of the merger, compute for the following. Okay. So basically, yung sa problem, binigyan tayo ng balance sheet. Okay. Binigyan tayo ng how much yung binayad ni Pinnacle to acquire Brad and Fit, as well as these expenses. Okay. And again, let's take a look at the questions. You have the goodwill, you have gain on bargain purchase, okay, retained earnings, stockholders equity, and identifiable assets. Now, let's start with goodwill. Okay. In this problem, kailangan separately natin i-analyze si Brad and Fit. Okay. For goodwill, unahin natin si Brad. Okay. What a name. Alright. So, sir, how do you compute for the goodwill? So basically, yan lang yung how much yung binayad natin compared to how much yung na-receive natin. Alright? So, for Brad, Pinnacle paid cash in the amount of 185,000. Okay? So, cash, 185,000. And then, Pinnacle also issued shares, okay, to acquire Brad. 198,500, pero what do you use? The par value or the market value? Obviously, the market value. Okay? Ignore mo lang yung par value na yan. So, 198,500. Okay, let's calculate. 198,500. 198,500 times 40, you get 7,940,000. 7,940,000. Okay? What else? Meron pa ba? Wala na. So, cash and shares lang. So, we get the total. 7,940,000, we add 185,000, 8,125,000, 8,125,000. We call this the total consideration given, okay, 8,125,000. Now, kailangan i-compare natin siya to the fair value of net assets. Remember sa partnership, parang ganun lang din siya. So, fair value of net assets, in this case, makikita natin siya in the balance sheet. What do you mean by net assets? It's just assets less liabilities, or actually yung kinumpute natin na total earlier, right? Because si Brad yung ina-analyze natin, this is the fair value of net assets, 7,475,000. Kasi hindi naman sinabi sa problem that the book value is different from the fair value. Ngayon, pag binigyan ka ng balance sheet, syempre, di ba, ang turo ko sa inyo yung partnership, you assume that it's at book value, right? Pero wala namang minention in the problem na iba yung book value sa fair value. So in that case, we assume that the book value is equal to the fair value. Alright? So we compare the fair value consideration given of 8,125,000 to 7,475,000. Okay, 7,475,000. Difference. Okay, so let's compute. 8,125,000 less 7,475,000. We get 650,000. 650,000. Alright, now i-analyze natin na. Okay, ito yung total na binayad mo, 8,125,000, but you're getting only 7,475,000. It means you're paying something for an intangible asset. Okay, we call it goodwill, right? So goodwill. Goodwill is 650,000. Gets? So yun yung, if mas mataas yung binayad mo, the fair value of consideration given or transferred, then the fair value of net assets means you're paying for something intangible. We call it the goodwill, 650,000. Gets? Okay, easy. Now let's go to Fit. Okay. So same analysis. Cash, 72,000. Alright, 72,000. And then shares, Okay, 54, 350 shares and 40 per share yung market value. Let's compute. 54, 350 shares times 40, you get 2,174,000. 2,174,000 for the shares. 2,174,000. We add, okay, plus 72,000, 2,246,000. Alright, 2,246,000. Total value of consideration transferred is 2,246,000. We compare that to the fair value of net assets, 2,257,500. Okay, 2,257,500. In this case, mas mababa naman yung binabayad natin than the fair value of net assets. Different dito, right? Now, the difference is, let's compute the difference. 2,246,000, 2,246,000 less 2,257,500. You get 11,500. 11,500. Okay. Ang tawag natin dyan, this is a gain on bargain purchase. Okay, 11,500. We also call this gain on acquisition. Alright, same meaning lang sila. So, if mas mababa yung consideration transfer to the fair value of net assets, the difference, we call it gain on bargain purchase. Alright? As you can see, class, separate natin siya i-analyze. Kasi different companies yun. If combine mo siya, let's say, ang ginawa mo lang, total cash plus total shares less total FBNA, goodwill yung makukuha mo for pag kinumbine mo yung dalawa. So, magkakamali ka doon. Dapat separately analyzed yung dalawa na yan. Alright? Final answers for goodwill, 650,000. I'll write it down, 650,000. And for the gain on bargain purchase, 11,500. 11,500. Obviously, goodwill is an asset. Gain on bargain purchase is an income statement account, right? So, lalabas yan, both of them, dun sa consolidated FS nila. Okay, actually, one set of FS na naman yung merger, pero both of them, and lalabas sila dun. Okay? So, goodwill and gain on bargain purchase. So, this is letter B. Okay, let's move on to question C. Net increase or decrease in retained earnings of Pinnacle Corporation. Okay, so ano kaya makaka-affect ng retained earnings natin? Cash, shares, for shares, stockholders equity, pero hindi retained earnings yung effect niya, right? Okay, so this one, alright? These are your expenses. Now, question is, ano yung treatment for each of this? Alright? You have indirect costs, you have finder's fee, accounting and legal fees for SEC registration, printing costs of stock certificates. Ito yung natandaan nyo, class. All costs related to incorporation are charged to additional paid-in capital or APIC. Okay? In this case, yung related to incorporation are these last two items. Okay? We charge this to APIC. Indirect costs and finder's fee, we charge this to expense. Okay? These are expensed. Alright? Okay. Now, since the question is about retained earnings, so ano yung makaka-affect ng retained earnings? Obviously, yung expenses. Yung APIC, different yung effect niya. Dito siya. Tama sa share premium man. Alright? So, let's compute yung indirect cost and finder's fee of Brad and Fit. Fit. Ay no, class. Alam nyo, class, I really advocate physical fitness. No? Kasi pag physically active ka, magiging mentally active ka rin. Pag nag-enroll ka at Pinnacle, meron kang free personal training from Sir Brad using the workout program for sponsors, Sir Brad Fit. Imagine class, after review, diretso tayo sa gym. Chest day every Monday. Bench press muna tayo, 3 sets of 46 reps. In between sets, magsasagot tayo ng business combination problems. Nasaan na ako? Nawala na ako. Okay. Ayan, so expenses. Ayan, question is retained earnings. Okay, ano makaka-affect dyan? Again, yung expenses. So, computing natin yung total indirect cost and finder's fee of both Brad and Fit. Okay? So, 93,750 is one. Plus 66,250. Okay? Plus 101,250. Plus 35,000. You get 296,250. Alright? 296,250 class. This is the total indirect cost and finder's fee. Okay? Now, ano pa yung makaka-affect ng retained earnings natin? Yun lang ba? Lagay ko muna dito for question C. Expenses. Okay, expenses. Negative yan sa expenses, right? 296,250. What else? How about the gain on bargain purchase? Yes. Okay, you have the gain on bargain purchase. That's positive kasi gain siya, tama? Plus 11,500. Let's compute the total. 296,250. 296,250 less 11,500. 284,750. 284,750. That's negative. Alright. Net increase or decrease in retained earnings, that's decrease. Tama? Decrease of 284,750. That's the final answer for question C. Class, if you appreciate this free accounting tutorial, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I have a new video. Alright. Let's move on to question D. Net increase or decrease in the stockholders' equity of Pinnacle Corporation. Okay, letter D, stockholders' equity. Balik ulit tayo sa given. How about the issuance of shares? Pwede? Tama? So, may effect siya dun sa stockholders' equity. Is it at par or at the market value? Well, pwedeng market value na lang kasi if at market value, na-consider natin both the par value and the share premium. Alright? So, issuance of shares. Okay, issuance of shares to Brad and Fit. Alright, how much yun? Compute natin actually earlier. So, for Brad, it's 7,940,000. For Fit naman, it's 2,174,000. What else? What will affect our stockholders' equity? How about yung answer natin for question C? Expenses. Tama. So, for expenses, syempre, bababa yung retained earnings natin dyan. So, 296,250. Alright. 296,250. And then the gain on bargain purchase, that's 11,500. So, positive 11,500. What else? Stockholders' equity. How about the accounting and legal fees and printing cost of stock certificates? Yes. So, isa-charge natin siya to APIC. So, debit APIC. Right? So, bababa yung equity natin because of accounting and legal fees and printing cost of stock certificates. Let's compute the total charge to APIC. Okay, so add natin sila. 343,750. Alright, plus 125,000. Plus 362,500. Okay, plus 93,750. Total is 925,000. 925,000. Lagi ko na lang dito. Total charge to APIC, 925,000. Alright. Actually, that's it na yata. Alright. So, let's compute the total effect to the stockholders' equity. 7,940,000 plus 2,174,000 minus 296,250. 296,250 plus 11,500 minus 925,000. You get 8,904,250. Alright. 8,904,250. This is positive, so increase. Question D. So, final answer natin for question D is increase of 8,904,250. Alright. And then last question is net increase or decrease in the identifiable assets of Pinnacle Corporation. So, effect to your total assets. Dito natin siya i-solve. Total assets, letter E. So, paano gagawin natin dyan, class? Well, given tayo ng assets of Brad and Fit, so binili yan ni Pinnacle. So, mapupunta na sa kanya yung assets ng two companies na yan, tama? So, Brad, 10,250, Fit, 3,057,500. Now, again, if given yung fair value, if different yung book value to fair value, you use the fair value. Alright? In this case, walang mention, we assume that book value is equal to fair value. For Brad, it's 10,250,000. Okay, for Fit, it's given na siya. Actually, kinakopy ko lang. 3,057,500. Okay, what else? What will affect our total assets? How about yung cash na binayad, right? So, deduction siya to the total assets. So, cash payment. Okay. For Brad, it's 185. For Fit, it's 72. Okay. This is 185,000 minus yan, right? Okay, and then 72,000. What else? How about these expenses? Yes, dapat deduction siya. Kaya lang, Sinabi pala dyan sa problem, unpaid expenses. Tama? Payable pa sila. So, take note na lang, be careful na lang dun. Okay? So, one word lang pero baka dyan ka pa magkamali in the exam. Alright? So, it means wala siyang effect to the total assets, right? Because liability pa rin siya. Alright? So, we compute 10 to 50,000. 10 to 50,000 plus 30,57500 minus 185 minus 72,000. You get 13,050,500. Alright? 13,050,500. Okay. Sir, bakit di mo sinama yung goodwill? Alright? Take note class, yung wording na ginamit dito is identifiable. Okay? By definition, goodwill is an unidentifiable assets. Okay? If ang nakalagay dyan, unidentifiable assets, obviously, answer mo is 650 yung goodwill. Right? If nakalagay naman dyan, assets, well, ang sagot natin, this one, you add goodwill of 650,000 because the question is identifiable assets. Our final answer is 13,050,500. This is an increase. Okay? 13,050,500. Alright? So basically, that's how you do accounting for merger or acquisition. Okay? Be careful na lang. Dapat maingat ka lang sa pag-answer. Okay? So key points to remember siguro is that you assume that book value is equal to fair value if silent. Okay? You use the market value. Okay? Take note na lang, unpaid expenses siya. And yung classification, how do you know if it's expense? How do you know if it's charged to APIC? Again, if it's related to incorporation, you charge to APIC. Otherwise, you charge to expense. And if expense siya, we know ang direct effect niya is decrease in your retained earnings. And separate natin in-analyze si Brad and Sipin. Alright, that's it for merger or acquisition.
Classes at the end of this free tutorial, patikim pa lang yan. What is the accounting treatment for contingent consideration? What if the share premium is not enough to cover incorporation costs? What if nagbago yung goodwill estimate within 1 year? What if after 1 year? What if may pre-existing goodwill si acquiree? Tuturo namin lahat yan at Pinnacle, regardless of your accounting background. We will provide you with the most efficient and effective review by focusing on best review strategies, key points to remember, shortcuts, common tricks, and mistakes. For reservation and to know more about us, visit our website and Facebook page. All the links are in the description below. Reserve now because we only accept limited number of students in order to preserve the quality of our review. Class is missed. See you next meeting.